Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cold Reads, brought to you by Resonant Moon Audiobook Solutions. I am Laura Nicole, and this is Cold Reads. Welcome to my show. It's a show where I get together a bunch of voice actors and a couple of writers, and we do a cold read of a short story for your amusement, and also some people learn some things. This week, I am delighted to have two new people on the show. Yay! And maybe I'll do for them what I did for genre, which was to make them interested in the voice acting stuff. Because we'll get to you in a minute, sir. Yes, I'm very excited to have two new people on the show. So I will go ahead and give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. Wow, I can talk. And we'll start with this very fantastic person beside me, Anagram of a Brett.
Indeed, Anagram of Brett. This is my first time on the show. I'm very excited and very nervous. And I started doing Twitch streaming. I host a couple of random games for 17-year-olds usually. She's going to promote my website, so check me out. It's rvtserver.net. And that's me.
Awesome. And then we will go over to our other new guest, Sinna. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sinna, short for Sinna Sweet, full with sin as much as love. And I am on Twitch, however, I don't stream, but that could probably change soon. Anyway, this is my first time as well. Nice to meet you all.
It's so good to have you, and thank you for coming on. You came highly recommended with a unique voice, which I can already tell you have, so I'm looking forward to having you on this episode, and we'll see if we can get you back on in the future.
Highly recommended. Oh my God, more like they'll make me butterfly.
Yeah, who did that?
The next person that I'm going to be introducing on the show, Genre Roberts.
Hi.
We know who you are, but tell us again.
I run a few shows that are podcasts. You can find them all at planetside.pro. I'm also the programming director and on the board of Valley Free Radio, WXOJLP 103.3 FM in Northampton.
Ooh. Thank you very much. Yes, and that is how Genre and I met, through Valley Free Radio. And our writer for this episode is my very first guest on Cold Reads. So welcome back, Scott Roche.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is, as you said, my name is Scott Roche. I'm an author and a podcaster, and I've been writing for about the last 7 or 8 years, I guess. And Laura Nicole and I have been friends for a long time.
Since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my first Balticon. I fangirled all over him.
She really did, but it all came out in the wash, so it's okay.
Yeah, and several mojitos later. Anyway, so I'm going to say this for all of my fellow critters who may be watching this show. This show is going to be a nerdy-ass show where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors get to read a story about D&D and how it goes terribly wrong. I love Critical Role. I am so happy. I even received this mug, and if you can't read what it says, "How do you want to do this?" which is the phrase that the DM from the show Critical Role says to his players whenever they get ready to kill a big bad. I am super excited about this mug, and my drink is gone. Oops. Anyway, so.
Careful. Don't get cocky, kid.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Han Solo. So anyway, Scott, you wrote this story. Tell us a little bit about your Patreon page and what brought you to write this story, other than me asking you.
Well, my Patreon page is a place where you can find things like snippets from works in progress. You can find short stories, flash fiction, my thoughts on writing, my suggestions on how to become a better writer. And this particular story, one of the things that I do pretty often with my Facebook friends and my patrons is I'll say, okay, I'm looking for an idea. Like, what's your worst fear? Or give me a first line, or give me a situation. And it's my way of doing little writing exercises. And sometimes those turn into longer stories. One of those exercises turned into a of stories based on phobias. This particular story, Laura Nicole gave me the situation, but I've also really wanted to try writing, I don't know if you would call it a new genre, but there is a classification of stories that has become more popular here lately called Lit RPG. And basically what it is the gist of that kind of story is the characters somehow end up in a role-playing game world. So they go from the, quote, real world into their RPG world. And sort of like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s, which I don't think anybody here other than me is old enough to remember.
No, I
excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it.
Or similar to Jumanji, that kind of thing. So basically, this story is in that vein.
Awesome. Okay, so right before we broadcasted, I did cast the roles. So one of the characters is named after me, which I'm really honored by, and so I'm going to play that person. Genre is going to be our narrator. Maureen is going to be played by Sinna, and Brat is going to be playing Lee, and Scott, you're going to read the rules of Brand and Mickey.
Right.
And that's all the roles. And so I'm going to go ahead, as I always do, and share the file for everyone. And whenever you're ready, go ahead, genre. Genre, you're
I thought you were going first. Sorry. The title. Okay. Yes. Critical Failure by Scott Roche.
Your turn, Em.
Laura pointed at the 4 figurines surrounding the Dragon Mini.
What's the plan?
As she waited, she twisted the ornate silver bracelet she'd bought at their outing to the Ren Fair last year.
I'll cast Plane Shift and throw the thing into another world.
Maureen pulled the 20-sided die out of her bag.
Gonna break in a new one.
In the middle of a fight? What the hell, Em?
Brand whined. Always the rules lawyer and a little superstitious, he got on everyone's nerves a little, but he always brought the best snacks.
Hush, it's just a game. What's the worst that could happen?
Lee stuck out her tongue at Brand. She was the group's noob. That was the only possible explanation for that question. Maureen rolled the ivory icosahedron she'd found in the antique shop across the hex map. It came to rest with the numeral 1 face up.
Damn it.
Everyone's eyes grew wide as the blue light flashed along the die's edges. Eldritch energy lanced out and touched each of the 5 people seated around the table.
Well, shoot!
Mickey got the last word before they all winked out of existence. He would have liked that. When Maureen opened her eyes, she looked up at the massive green-scaled creature. Her fingers were wrapped around the staff of lightning, and she felt the soft brush of silk robes against her bare skin. As she stumbled backwards, she recognized the other characters from the sketches Laura had paid for. But where was their 5th? The ornate cuff around the dragon's foreleg was answer enough.
And dun dun dun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did that because I was dying to.
Do you want to do it? You're allowed.
Dun, dun.
There you go.
Okay, so much better now.
And I get to be a dragon.
You were so happy about that.
I am very happy about that. I love being a dragon. So Scott, what did you think?
Very nice. Very nice. You guys did a good job.
Yay.
So genre, you had some difficult words in there.
Like icosahedron.
Yes.
So it's a really funny thing. I do a show called Press Start to Continue, and I play video game music. So sometimes like some really like hard names come up, and I can pronounce some of those, but then easy words like lightning or something I stumble over. It's very strange. She called the ivory icosahedron. Like, come on, man, get it together.
Well, it could be worse. It could have been an actual tongue twister.
I am a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker that ever plucked a mother pheasant.
You're
Stop
so
showing
quiet. I wish I had more stories because I feel like this wasn't enough time.
We
Never
can always
enough time.
My Immortal.
No.
No.
Sinna, no.
3,000
No.
times no. And
No.
how about a silent no?
Clearly, this is a thing that I do not know about unless you're talking about the Evanescence song.
It's not.
Unfortunately not.
Okay. It is
My
not.
Immortal.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Sinna, I swear to God.
So way back when, in what was it, 2006, 2007?
Oh, man.
My Immortal came out, and it was an internet phenomenon. It basically was considered the worst fanfic to ever be written. We weren't sure if it was for like, clearly the author was trolling us, or it was just, no, sincerely, this was just that bad. So the fanfic is based on Harry Potter because it's right around the time where Harry Potter was like super booming, and I think was getting a lot of its movie deals going. So it is a fanfic mixed with, I would say, some gothic trappings would be the nice way of putting it.
Okay.
It would be like
Barely.
imagine a baby goth who still shops at Hot Topic,
Oh dear, poor baby.
who still believes that My Chemical Romance and Panic at the Disco is the most edgiest thing in the world.
Poor baby.
Wrote fanfic that put Harry Potter in gothic aesthetics.
I
And you
see.
will have My Immortal.
That's probably the best summation I've ever heard of this
It
entire
reads
phenomenon.
like it's really entertaining, but just know going in, it's going to read like a drunk fever dream.
You know what? You're just assuming that we're going to be doing this. That's
Not
funny.
reading it.
I said if.
I'm trying to find.
If we do that, then we have to do the Kling film story.
All right,
You know,
you lost me
genre.
with the Kling film story.
Yeah.
It's a story about a man who meets Roy Orbison, and they discuss their love of Kling film. Mm-hmm.
I don't know
I have
if
no
anybody
idea
on
what
the screen
Kling film
can
is.
see how far my head is cocked over, but
You're gonna
Oh
hurt
no, they
yourself
can
like
still
that.
see you. I'm sitting here like looking through my short stories to see if I've got anything, and the only thing I've got is erotica, or a bit of prose.
I'm down for erotica.
Yeah, but no, I don't think we could do that on this show.
We can.
Oh.
Okay.
We can, because I can just put a mature disclaimer on it because we have no viewers right now. I know they watch in the future, so
Yeah, but that'll
in
mess up your
big-
metrics.
whatever. In big letters, I'm in the beginning of this thing, and I'll probably flash it right now. This part of the show is going to have mature themes.
not with this group.
Mature
Quote, unquote.
themes. Not people, themes.
You know, genre, I just want to say that I keep misreading your little like picture that you have. Instead
What,
of saying burns bright. I keep seeing hope burns bitch.
I think that's something that you need to think about, like, in your life. That's something that's really like something you should unpack. I think.
I'm not gonna see anything different from now on.
No, I'm not doing the erotica. Nope, it's too long.
Aww.
It's too long.
How did you get bitch from bright?
It just looks like it just should say bitch. Hope burns bitch. It's perfect.
There's no comma.
There doesn't have to be a comma.
Shh.
I'm dramatic. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
That's pretty much Sinna's catchphrase.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I send out my royalty checks to my friend Chantel because she's the one who originated it.
Now that we've switched back, I can kind of see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're not reading it real carefully, you can be like you would double take that.
Yeah. Well, if we do decide to read My Immortal,
we're not reading
My Immortal. We're not reading My Immortal. That's nope.
I'm just saying, fans would probably appreciate the call.
I have a 40-minute drive before I can hit up my booze and my pot. So no.
We live in Massachusetts where it's nice and legal. Just saying that's a reason that Massachusetts is good.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how to send this to you all. If I do a screen share, can you all read it from the screen share? Maybe. Okay. This is the most jacked up show I've done in a while. So I love you all dearly, and
it would be the moment I decide to come on here. It would be the jankiest goddamn show.
I don't think that. I think you're discounting Brat's contribution a little bit. I'm just saying.
No, I am sweet and innocent.
All right, so
don't do this lockety lock.
Are you gonna pull out that, huh? Okay.
I was being good.
Yeah, spirit.
All right, so if I put this up, can y'all read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the words? Or
Yes.
should I zoom in? All right.
I can see words, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna have everybody read a stanza, and we're just like gonna go down the line because we can. And I wrote this so long ago. I want to hear how stupid it is. So
I think you need to explain the significance of Laura Freshet.
Do I need to?
No, if you don't want to.
I was married before to a not nice person.
That was your actual last name.
And he made me, in the divorce, he made me change my name.
Okay.
So that's me.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway, now that we've dragged my stuff through the mud, so I am gonna say, so the first stanza I want to have Sinna read.
Okay.
The second stanza I'm gonna have Brat read.
All right.
I'm gonna read this one. And then this line is Sinna. This line is Brat. This is how I plan these shows, by the way, if anybody is interested.
I think Sinna's with an S.
Yeah, it is.
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she ain't the guy with the gold eyeliner in the Hunger Games.
I was thinking cinnamon because cinnamon is delicious.
Cinnamon is delicious.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Well, I am delicious.
There it is.
I have been told.
She said it too. She said it in her introduction. She said she was delicious.
Mhm.
So, no.
Okay.
Genre.
Yeah. What? Oh. Yes.
You're going to be my Goblin King for one line.
Ooh,
And
a goblin.
then, huh?
I
He's
said,
gonna-
ooh, a Goblin King.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes.
What? Like, that's so good.
And then I'm just for ha-has, I'm going to make Scott read this part, but it's the little girl in the story. I can, and I like to torture people. Whenever I spell Scott, I want to spell Scoot.
And that would be okay. Because after this, Scott's got a scoot.
Yeah. So then I'll do this one. And
I'm
trying to scroll up to read like the first one. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not my screen.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, genre. I've done that once or twice during this call myself.
Okay. So everybody follow along, and well, I'll read the title, I guess. Twilight Dances by me, because I'm no longer Laura Fichette.
Just you.
Okay.
Sorry, not you.
Sweet little melody on the air you sing, with the precious harmony in your head you ring. Come, little melody, have you the time to play? Dance with this harmony and the rhythm sway.
Sweet little mortal child, listen to us sing. Follow us, precious one, into imagining. Come, little mortal child, and stay all night long. Dance, dance, innocent, to our fairy song.
Dear harmony and melody, why do the fairies sing?
To please the earth.
To please ourselves. To please the Goblin King.
Yeah, you're supposed to both say it.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, to please the Goblin King.
Oh, fairy friends, let us away. I'm frightened by your tale. Oh, that's supposed to be one of you. Oops.
You cannot leave, dear mortal child. Try and you shall fail.
All hail to the victor's viciousness. Hail to the Goblin King. Melody, harmony, what did your pixies bring?
A prize for you, our honored lord, the child of which you spoke.
The one you would then make your own to join us fairy folk.
Oh, Goblin King, please let me go. I have no wish to stay.
You would rather be yourself and grow your human way. Why not stay within our land? I'll grant you your fairy flight. You'll want for nothing, and you can be free to do what you like.
And if I should refuse you, King, what will become of me?
And you shall curse those of your kin for your treachery, and I shall watch you to your dismay as they fall to our might. So, I ask you stay. Be one of us, and save them from this plight.
I will stay, my Goblin King, until my death, I swear. I shall be your fairy child and follow you everywhere.
So it shall be, child of man. Let this be a lesson to all. Follow not the fairy's song, lest you answer the goblin's call.
Where the hell did that voice come from? That was amazing.
Okay.
I do voices. I like
I wasn't
voices.
expecting that one. I'll tell you that.
Oh, God.
It's kind of like an evil version of that old guy that I did on the first show.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, God.
You okay?
So that was awesome. Thank you
Scott, wow.
for dealing with all of my stuff. And oh my God, Scott!
Oh, Goblin King. Oh, goodness, Goblin King.
Oh,
Without your imitation of me? Oh man, all of us so great. I'll have to play for you guys the original one at some point. But I know that Scott has to go, and we are actually very close to half an hour, which is what I was going for. So thank you all for bearing with me for my awfulness and also for reading my short poem, because that was cool, along with Scott's story. So we'll go ahead and go back down the line and let everybody, say, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, should I go first?
Yeah, because you're right here.
Okay. Internet stuff. The things that I'm currently maintaining are arbtserver.net. Come on, read my blog posts, play games with me. Both of my games are open, and I'm always looking for players. And I am also active on Twitch. It's go.twitch.tv/anagram of brat. And I sign on and I yell at tiny pixelated people, or I yell at tiny blocky objects, or I yell at gun-toting psychopaths. I play games and I yell. So yeah, check me out.
And Scott.
You can find me on Twitter at Spiritual Tramp. If people still use Twitter, that is, I'm not sure. You can also find me at my website and with links to all of my various social media presences at www.scottroche.com.
Great. And Sinna, can we find you on the internet yet?
Yes, you can find me on the FBI's most wanted list.
For being the most delicious, right?
Yes.
Magically delicious.
Mm-hmm. And filled with scent.
Frosted Lucky Charm.
I'm filled with sin, sweet, tasteful sin. Take a bite.
Whew.
And genre, can you follow that up?
No. I do a few different things. The main thing is my show Press Start to Continue, which is on Valley Free Radio, and it's on a podcast. You can go to starttocontinue.com for that. Attached to that, I have a Twitter. It's Press Start VFR. I also have a Twitch that I sometimes stream on. It's Press Start VFR on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Press Start VFR. And I also manage a few podcasts as well. You can go for everything. You can go to planetside.pro and check that out. Planetside Pro.
And he's just the regular kind of delicious.
Yeah. Can vouch for that.
Wait, how did you know, Scott?
I know all. I see all.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Get out of my bushes.
Genre, you have a bush?
Oh my God. End it now. End it now.
Okay, so, and I am Laura Nicole.
What's coming? Oh,
what do we press to end it?
Wait, hang on. Let me finish. Can I finish?
Nice.
What do you think? This is your podcast or something?
Oh, it might be, because I definitely made the feed now focused on my face. Well, and Brad's.
Wow.
So anyway, this has been Cold Reads, brought to you by Resonant Moon Audiobook Solutions. You can find us on the web at resonantmoon.com. I do QC, I do audio editing, I occasionally do narrations. You can find out all about my services on resonantmoon.com. You can also find me on Twitter at lnicoleaudio. I mostly talk about Dungeons and Dragons, shows like this one, and my love of Critical Role. If you would like to be on the show, like Sinna and Brat and everybody else that has ever been on the show, especially, my first guest, Scott, and my most frequent guest, Genre, you can send me an email. The email is lauranicoleaudio@gmail.com. If you want to submit a short story that's no more than 4 pages long, send it to that email address as well. You can join us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/cold-reads. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License, which means you can download it, share it, repost it. Just don't change it. It's perfect the way it is, just like you. That's it for all of us. Thank you so much to all of my guests for being with me. And without further ado, Say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night, guys.